Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we have for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, as the latest digital event just finished airing, showcasing us what will be available for free title update number 3, or what they're actually calling update number 13. And basically, when it comes to monsters, they pretty much showcased everything we had been talking about up until this point. I know there's always a lot of people who are doubting leaks and stuff like that leading up to any sort of digital presentation, but it always turns out to be accurate one way or another. So of course, if you were watching the presentation, you ended up noticing that first and foremost, Chaotic Gormagala was the first monster that they decided to go ahead and reveal. And of course, that didn't come too much of a surprise if you have been watching this channel already. Knowing that Chaotic Gormagala was in the game's files is something that we've known for quite a while. It was one of the flagship monsters that we were expecting for the third free title update. It was always the roadmap leading up to this title update always seemed to be that way. So it doesn't necessarily surprise any of us that they basically went ahead and did that this time around. What I think was a little bit of a surprise was the fact that they ended up confirming 2 Risen monsters for this brand new update. Risen Teostra and Risen Kushala Daora. Now, we knew of these monsters. I talked about them in multiple videos already as leading up to, again, stuff that we knew from the leaks. That wasn't necessarily much of a surprise. What was a surprise is that they actually ended up providing us with 2 Risens back to back, and not necessarily, something that I was expecting maybe the new variant Malzeno or something like that. But no, in fact, that they decided to basically go out of their way to give us 2 Risen monsters. Now, if you actually take a closer look at the roadmap, which is something that they basically showed all the way at the end of the presentation, we now have a better understanding that, of course, there will be 2 free title updates heading into next year. So, of course, if you remember the 8 monsters that we know are coming, the roadmap now kind of aligns a little bit better. So for them to kind of get these Risens out of the way before they actually start to showcase new monsters, which is what we are going to end up getting in the later free title updates, it does line up relatively well. So at some point it had to drop more than 1 Risen. I guess this was the update to be able to get it done. So, it is what it is. A lot of people are going to have been complaining that Risens are just recolors and stuff like that. That's a fair criticism, but at the end of the day, they are still, another interesting hunt nonetheless. And Chaotic Gormagala is an amazing addition, but we have been waiting for this one for quite a while. Now, I would say the most interesting surprising that we got here is the fact that, of course, followers are getting more love this time around. And now, of course, kind of like people had modded into PC already, this was something that people have been able to do on the PC for quite a while. You are now going to be able to bring in your followers along pretty much to just about every single quest, they said. So they said to Master on Quest, just about every single Master on Quest, you're going to be able to bring in your followers. You're also going to be able to bring them into Anomaly Investigation Quest. Therefore, you can now do Anomaly Investigations in single player without having to hunt by yourself. This is, of course, going to speed up the process. Alongside the fact that, of course, we now can kind of change their parameters in the way that they hunt. This is always going to make, Anomaly Investigations a little bit easier if you choose to hunt them all by yourself. So that's going to be really good. That's going to be a really nice option for you to be able to have followers coming along with you. There are a couple of smaller changes to followers as well. So all in all, I think this was probably the surprise out of all of it. We did know that followers were going to get tweaked in one way or another, but we now have a real good understanding as to why that is. Now, the other thing that we knew based on the leaks, of course, is the fact that Anomaly 7-star investigation monsters were coming. Now, they only spoke about a couple of them in the actual trailer and the presentation itself. Flaming Espinas, Seething Bezelgeuse is what they actually called it, which I never actually heard it mentioned that way. And another monster, if I remember correctly, it might have been Crimson Glow Valstrax, which I saw in one of the clips, but I don't quite remember. So it was a lot of those monsters that we kind of already knew. We'll have a better understanding, most likely once the website goes live with all of the updates. We'll have a better understanding just how many more 7-star Anomaly Investigation monsters were fully added. So again, this was something that if you have been watching my channel, you kind of already knew this was coming. Now, the thing that was interesting, and again, once again, the leaks were 100% right, was the anomaly investigations were now going to be risen to level 200. And guess what? Now the level cap is going to be 200. I originally thought, kind of like a lot of people were saying, maybe they'll do a staggered release. Maybe they'll end up raising the level cap to 140, 150, and then not let us go from 120 to 200. It seems like a relatively high gap to go, but we are pretty much at the end of the game already. So I guess there's no real drawback to just kind of make people grind all the way to 200. Remember, this also confirms that the level cap for unlocking the normal anomaly quest for monsters will be 181, exactly how the leak mentioned. So this is pretty much now a reality. If the leak was right about the cap, then of course it's also right about you being able to unlock every single monster if you don't do it through the RNG system at 181. Every 7-star monster will be there. They didn't necessarily show like Violet Mitsuzune or Lucent Nargacuga as a 7-star monster, so we're still going to be waiting if they end up adding those in later on. Maybe even Chaotic or Magala gets added in the future. Again, there's going to be 2 free title updates next year, so of course we should be expecting more things to come in that regard. Of course, they also touted a brand new set of paid DLC layered weapons and stuff like that. I wasn't necessarily too thrilled to see that, but realistically speaking, it doesn't really surprise me much. You know, we knew that they were going to do that. They also mentioned a little bit about the event quest, but of course the event quests, we're going to get a brand new batch of them. We do know that there's going to be one with a Crimson Grove Valstrax and I believe a Rajang or something like that, Seething or something, Furious Rajang coming in later, early December, I believe is when that quest is actually set to drop. So, you know, we're going to get more of that as well. They also spoke about introducing a brand new character. I didn't really catch that all that well. So I'm guessing it's another voice pack type of character, not necessarily anything like story-wise or whatever. So we'll just have to wait and see how that plans out. But ultimately, pretty much, if you have been paying attention to the leaks, everything was 100% accurate. So for those people who were criticizing me for using Namiel in the thumbnail and a video that I made a couple of days ago, guess what? Namiel is coming to the freaking game. A lot of people were just like, oh, clickbait, whatever. Nope. Namiel is coming to the game because it turns out everything from the leaks, you know, was 100% accurate. So once again, you know, people who continually doubt the leaks and just get upset, you know, it just ends up being silly because, you know, they always end up being right. And of course, now as we get a brand new patch, which presumably the patch notes will be dropping probably in about 5 days or so, we're going to end up seeing just what more brand new changes are coming into the game. But that's about all the information that I have for you guys today. If you are brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.